All right, yes, everybody please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome everybody. I am Matthew Tuma. I'm the Deputy Director of the Department of Administration, which houses the CPM course. And it's my distinct honor to be here today to recognize and honor our Class 17 cohort of the Nevada Certified Public Manager Program. I think we can stop here and just give everybody a round of applause. So welcome to our graduates, their supervisors, and their agency directors. We're also joined today by some past program graduates, as well as some current program participants. And if you will, please stand for a moment so we can recognize you as well. Transparent about what you're doing, why you need to make changes, documenting, quantifying, as well as being respectful to people who have invested in that status quo and who've worked in that status quo, and it's been successful for different things as well. Everyone graduating here has started to make changes with their capstone projects. They've looked at the status quo and figured out how we can do a better job. That's a good down payment, but your work is not done. As you approach your jobs, as you approach your future jobs and your current positions, this is going to be a constant of your careers, and it's a constant of the senior leadership that's in this room, of how do we make those changes and how do we do that successfully. So that's my best piece of advice, is just that your work is not done. Keep doing the great work that you're doing. We're going to get to hear some great examples of the projects that you've started already. Your supervisors and your managers no doubt have some good examples of work that you've done as well. And just keep up that great work. So moving on to some acknowledgments before I turn over the reins to Laura to give a keynote here, is that Governor Sisolak had originally planned to make the keynote and speak to all of you and present the certificates, but unfortunately there was a last-minute change to his schedule, and he had to be in Las Vegas today, so he sends his regrets that he couldn't be here, but he sends a very big congratulations to all of the graduates. Before I hand things off, also I want to thank all of the agency directors. Thank you for sending really good people to the program. Your investment in them is already paying dividends for your agency, and it's paying dividends to us for getting to work with these people and paying dividends for our program for getting to interact with all of these wonderful public servants. I want to thank the family members. Thank you for putting up with your loved ones working extra hours outside their normal duties on class assignments and capstone projects. Your understanding and support have been essential to their success, and they'll be essential to their success as public servants going forward. And then lastly, I'd like to thank our program staff and principal instructors from DHRM, Rebecca Kennard, Bill Kinson, Rob Horgan, and Jennifer Herrera. Thank you for your tireless work in this program and your commitment to it, its participants, and to the state of Nevada. So now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Director Freed for some keynote remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Governor Sisolak, I want to say welcome to the 17th graduation of the nationally accredited Nevada Certified Public Manager Program. Since 2005, this program has enhanced the skills and abilities of more than 620 exceptional leaders representing 41 state agencies and local governments. It's an honor for Matthew and myself to be here with these graduates as they mark an important milestone, and you all take your place among the ranks of the fine government leaders who have come before you. I'm pleased to announce that earlier this month, the program was awarded its third 6-year accreditation from the National CPM Consortium, ensuring that there will be many more graduating leaders to follow in your footsteps. Congratulations to the program staff at DHRM for this important distinction. Participants in the program are nominated by their department directors and complete hundreds of hours in the classroom and on outside assignments. Ultimately, each one completes a capstone project that is the culmination of their learning experience. These capstone projects aim to improve customer service and/or enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of government processes. And these projects aren't fluff. They have real-world impacts in terms of cost savings or revenue generation for the agencies. The state of Nevada has invested just over $1.2 million in the CPM program, but has realized a benefit of over $47 million in savings from these projects. Government in Nevada is better because of this program. We have quality managers who've risen through the ranks and are leading the next generation. Agencies have a mechanism for succession planning and professional development for their workforce. The Nevada CPM program helps the state to be faithful guardians of the public's trust and its taxpayer dollars. So let's take a closer look at Class 17, the reason we're all here today. This class is unique. They were halfway through the program when the world closed 18 months ago. Instruction pivoted from in-class gatherings to virtual instruction. So this day is a hard-won accomplishment for the men and women that you see up here. These 33 graduates represent 13 state agencies, 1 state licensing board, and 2 local governments. Those capstone projects I talked about earlier, this class alone realized $1.63 million in cost savings and revenue generation. Let me give you a few specific examples. First, a manager at the Department of Taxation led a team to address the gap in communications with Spanish-speaking business owners. Implementing a Google Translate button on the website and assigning bilingual compliance officers to Hispanic-owned businesses deepened relationships with those owners and increased revenue by over $692,000. Second, within Health and Human Services Division of Public and Behavioral Health, a manager led a team that implemented an inpatient program for clients with co-occurring mental disorders with the goal of decreasing admittance to hospitals and reducing recidivism. After 90 days, the number of days in the hospital decreased by 89%, and the number of days in jail decreased by 95%, for a total annual savings of more than $115,000. More importantly, participants reported enhanced stability and a higher quality of life. Third, a participant from the Department of Education led a team to create a student diploma pathway tool to outline for students, parents, and counselors the requirements for each kind of high school diploma. This team's work uncovered that the assessment scores from the Read by Grade 3 program and from 5th grade mathematics classes impact the readiness for college and career readiness diplomas. This tool has the potential to be used across all school districts in the state so that students and parents can have an earlier voice in the type of diploma earned. Those are just a few examples of the capstone projects from this class. I wish I had time to go through all of them and give you a synopsis. Graduates, you should be proud of your accomplishments. Everything about this program is in addition to your normal job duties. You have achieved a designation that requires a tremendous amount of commitment, time management, and perseverance. To each of you graduating today, on behalf of the state of Nevada, the governor, and its people, thank you for your hard work and dedication, and congratulations.
All right, thank you very much, Director Freed. And now I imagine most of you don't want to hear from the two of us too much anymore. So let's hear from 2 of our Class 17 graduates who were both nominated as speakers by their respective classes because they embody the spirit of their class and the CPM program. First up is Tim Galluzzi. He is the State Enterprise IT Division Administrator, and I actually happen to know Tim pretty well because he serves on our leadership team. Tim is representing the Northern Nevada CPM class.
Good afternoon. My name is Tim Galluzzi, and I'm the Administrator of Enterprise IT Services. And I have the great honor and privilege to have been selected to speak with you all today. I would first like to thank our honored guests, Director Freed, state leaders, the CPM cadre, and probably most important to my fellow class members and myself, our supportive families. Without each of you here today, the fulfillment of this goal would not have been possible. Well, class 17, we made it. We finally earned that bling. In May of 2019, we could have never imagined the journey that we would undertake to bring us to this point. Looking back on that day, which seems like so long ago, the world of 2019 looks vastly different from the world we are living in today. If you would have told me then that we would be wearing masks and practicing hybrid and remote work in state service, I would have never believed you. During that first meeting in 2019, we gathered in the training room and awkwardly began getting to know each other. For a lot of us, that was our first broad exposure to a diverse group of agencies in size, form, function, and responsibility. Every single agency that we represent is incredibly unique, and each of you brought that experience into the classroom with you. From corrections to parks, DPS, DHHS, DMV, administration, DCNR, education, gaming, wildlife, NDOT, so many more. Each one of you brought that unique experience with you. This program brought us all together for a common goal, to give each of us the tools necessary to make even greater impacts on our agencies, and in turn, improve the service delivery to our most important stakeholders, the residents of Nevada. The first year or so of this program really focused on the foundational leadership skills and abilities. This went far beyond just reading about Maslow's hierarchy or Covey's habits. It challenged us with one of the most difficult tasks possible, true introspection. I'm not referring to that surface level, peek under the hood type of internal analysis. We were asked to dig deep and truly analyze how we think, how we feel, and how we react. We learned about the power of each of the different temperaments, whether you are an artisan, rational, idealist, or a fellow guardian, and how to leverage that temperament to further magnify our own leadership abilities and effectiveness. We were pushed beyond just about every preconceived comfort barrier, held accountable not only to our cadre, but by one another, to really put in the work required for true growth. Every session that we had together, we continued to keep pushing, adding new tools to the proverbial toolbox. We learned how to conduct meetings and coaching sessions. We learned project management, analytical problem solving, conflict resolution, and so much more. It seemed like every time we stepped into that classroom, we were wearing a new hat and playing a new role. From negotiator, trying to outwit Bill, who was playing the role of a drunk artist, to convince him to let us have an art show at his place, to an architect, designing a structure from scratch, and then trying to finish someone else's design, which that was quite difficult several times. Also trying to build the perfect cardboard tube, or unicorn trap, that never seemed to pass the Becky test. To a survivalist, trying to figure out how to prioritize the items we need to survive in the Arctic. Remember, build your fire first. Animal control, figuring out how to remove a rotting whale from the beach. Man, that got messy real quick. Debater and actor, pretending to either be a PETA supporter or a hunter, switching roles and trying to figure out which one won. Contortionist, from joining hands, standing in a circle, then trying to unlock ourselves without letting go of each other's hands. Thankfully, this was before COVID. Problem solver, probably the most common role that we played. Figuring out how to connect 12 nails and build a structure. Designing a cardboard path across a lava field. Making sure that we don't fall in. And storyteller, having 3 minutes to come up with a meaningful story about ourselves, and then presenting it to everyone. Each of these roles that we played just continued to build us up, block by block, to become even more well-rounded leaders. We were then ready to take these skills to the big league, to start showing everything that we have learned, to apply it to our capstone and consulting projects. Then, in March of 2020, everything changed. It all just stopped. We were faced with a challenge that no one had a playbook for. We had no idea how long it would take, or that the pandemic would fundamentally rewrite the script on how we interact, work, and learn with each other. But we did it. After realizing that we would not be returning to the office and back to the normal of 2019, the course cadre worked together and redesigned the course delivery to leverage technology and bring us back together where we were, in our homes, in our offices, in a virtual environment. We continued to push through the course while we were all supporting our agencies through these unprecedented times. We conducted our practitioner conversations, learning how others were using the tools taught by CPM to guide the state through its largest disaster ever. We were writing our capstones while managing vaccine and testing deployment. We completed our agency consulting projects, working on real-world issues in the state. During our public speaking practicum, we learned the finer art of camera placement, lighting, and having a non-distracting background. The students in Class 17 continue to serve the state and continue to work on ourselves to ensure that the investment that each one of you in this room made in us wasn't going to waste. In a 1910 speech, Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." Over the past 20 months, Class 17 and the rest of the state employees are in that arena doing our part to fulfill the mission and serve Nevadans. You may not hear this enough, but thank you. Thank you. Our world may look different now from that spring day in 2019, but our class looks exactly like it's supposed to. We, at our best, and at the end of this program, know the triumph of high achievement. When this course started, I thought our instructors were Becky and Bill. I now realize that everyone who sat in that room was an instructor. Each of us brought our unique experience and viewpoint to the table and contributed to the growth of one another. I would like to thank the CPM cadre, Becky, Bill, Jennifer, and Rob, for helping guide us on this journey. Thank you all for your support. To Class 17, congratulations. We did it. But this is not an ending or a stopping point. It is just the culmination of a phase, a checkpoint in our continued service to the state. I leave you with a question to ponder. How will you use what you have learned over the past 32 months to make good on this investment?
Thank you very much, Tim. And our next speaker is Lori Irizarry. I said that right? Okay. Operations Chief she's Operations Chief for the Private Investigators Licensing Board. Please welcome Lori, who is representing the Southern Nevada class.
Hello. Good afternoon, legislators, family, faculty, alumni, and my fellow classmates, here today and watching from home. Hi, Chris. It is indeed an immense honor and privilege for me to share a few words with you today on behalf of the Las Vegas class. Thank you guys for voting for me to speak for you. When I sat down to write my speech, I started to reminisce about all the memories we made together. From the feeling of fear on the first day of class, to the anticipation and excitement to this very moment, graduation day. But to fully appreciate how we got here, I wanted to quickly share with the room who the students of Class 17 are. We are upper and middle management in positions of authority, supervising anywhere from a few to numerous staff. We are not amateurs in our areas of expertise, and we are not amateurs in the work of public service. Some of us had college degrees, and others had not been in school since high school. And the next steps for us in our own agency was to one day sit upon the Iron Throne ourselves. Simply put, we are the textbook definition of working professionals, juggling long to-do lists, changing priorities, and important commitments in and out of work. But regardless of how much we thought we already knew back in May of 2019, Becky and Bill were about to teach us so much more. For me, the best part of CPM was the activities, but more importantly, the people. We discussed how to properly blow up a whale. We found mini unicorns forever homes. And we did a survival simulation where I was surprised to find out that Chris was an amateur Bear Grylls. Kim was our unofficial Golden Knights cheerleader. Doe easily won best dressed every day. Rusty was a mastermind of puzzles. Whenever I knew there was an activity, I wanted to be at his table. And Jennifer, even though not a student, made the absolute best cookies. However, it wasn't all fun and games. We took personality tests to better understand our own temperaments. We found camaraderie, discussing the deadly sins of public service, debated sensitive topics, had the opportunity to speak with other heads of state, and in every activity or lecture, there was always a moment of reflection. With all of that, I would be remiss if I did not mention how halfway through the program, the pandemic drastically changed everything for not just us, but the entire world. If you were anything like me and the other hundreds and thousands of Americans during this time, foraging for toilet paper and watching my Tiger King, you were also uncertain of where to start, what to do next, and uncertain of who and what to believe. At work, the good old response of "that's just how it's always been done" was now going to be obsolete. Everything was uncharted territory. Being such, the term normal course of business took on a whole new meaning. The complications COVID brought impacted all of us in different ways. That's a given. But Class 17 also had the unexpected pressures of switching to virtual learning and rolling out a capstone on top of it all. But you know what, Class 17? I'm speaking to you because we're here today because we did it. We succeeded. We set out on our mission and we accomplished it. None of us would be sitting here today had we not. COVID may have extended our program and delayed our celebration, but it brought us together. Oftentimes we talk about the North and the South like two separate worlds. But the virtual classroom brought each of us into each other's homes and offices. Brian was the first game warden I ever met. I enjoyed hearing Carlos's passion for cooking. Pedro's children were either in his stories or in the background. And although Michelle left us for Carson City, we were reunited again. We got to know each other and build relationships that would go far beyond class. And that's why today is celebrating us and coming together. It is about us as a group, not as individuals. It is about how we worked hard to get to this moment, but also when I look around the room and when I hear your stories, I know we did not get here alone. Everyone here in the room has supported us in some way. Whether it be our colleagues who helped us with our capstone project, agency leadership, friends, or our significant others. These individuals were patient when we were pulled in many directions. They were our voice of reason when we were frustrated and the ones who motivated us every step of the way. So on behalf of my peers, I would like to thank everyone who played a role in our success. You are as important today as we are. And I know I owe a special thank you to my staff at PILB, my director, and my parents watching home from Vegas. Today, as well, I would like to thank my wonderful husband, Benito, for always supporting and encouraging me for the past 18 years. But let's not forget, the reason we all made it here, truly, was Becky, Bill, Rob, and Jennifer. Their guidance and patience and their persistence for us to have an in-person graduation does not go unnoticed. Well, friends, before we say farewell, I wanted to remind you one last time, be proud of why you're here today. The CPM title, your accomplishments, it all means resilience, because we earned it. Do not limit CPM to just the last 3-letter designation on your signature block. It's way more than that. CPM gave us the skills, knowledge, and ability to succeed in our future positions, become innovative leaders, and game changers. Now, more than ever, it's that time to make the change. Class 17, we are strong. We are now forever friends. And above all else, we are Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Tim, both for your words of wisdom and your thoughts. It truly has been a journey for your entire class. And now, without further ado, it's time to award our graduates their hard-earned certificates. So, Director Freed, if you could please join me up here. Michelle Ashcraft, Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah. Wayne Baumiller, Department of Motor Vehicles. Crystal Borgman, Department of Administration. Jason Caron. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I went out of order.
Okay.
My bad. It is me, Brian Bowles, Department of Wildlife.
He's got it done.
Oh. Now, Jason Caron, Department of Corrections. Andre De Leon, Department of Education. Samantha Dowd, Department of Transportation. David Drummond, Department of Corrections. Jared Franco, Department of Administration. Timothy Galluzzi, Department of Administration. Janice Kyler, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Thomas Martin, Department of Motor Vehicles. Carlos Perez, Department of Public Safety. Pedro Rodriguez, Department of Transportation. Dana Searcy, Washoe County. Andrea Seifert, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Patrick Stackpole, Gaming Control Board. Yvonne Young Brown, Department of Motor Vehicles. All right, and that concludes our Northern Nevada cohort. So here, introducing our Southern Nevada cohort, Danielle Anthony, Treasurer's Office. Julie Burkhoff, Department of Health and Human Services. Edna Bonilla, Department of Taxation. Tashina Cook, Department of Corrections. Oh. Marcel Brown, Department of Health and Human Services. Donna Cordell, Gaming Control Board. Mamdo Diamuale, Department of Health and Human Services. Kimberly Heckman, Department of Business and Industry. Lori Irizarry, Private Investigators Licensing Board. Rusty LeBlanc, Gaming Control Board. And Neo Vidal, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. We would also like to acknowledge 4 graduates of Class 17 who unfortunately couldn't be here today with us. Congratulations to Chris Carter from the Department of Public Safety, Emily Servey from the Department of Business and Industry, Bridget Ari Gertz from the Department of Health and Human Services, and Nathan Morian from the Department of Transportation. Could all the graduates please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2021 Nevada Certified Public Managers. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in today's acknowledgments. Please wait in your seat as the graduates exit, and look forward to all of the hard work that these people will do throughout their careers.